You recently started playing Genshin Impact and you reached AR5. The wish system just got unlocked and you decided to take a look. From there, you see a few banners that you could pull for with different character or weapon rate ups advertised. And you're not quite sure on what to do or what is the best course of action to take. Hello everyone, Ethereal here again with another guide video, and today we'll be taking a look at Genshin's wish system. By the end of the video, you will learn a few things here and there, gain the ability to make decisions on when and how you should spend your Primo Gems, and fates on the wish system. Now, let's get to the basics. If this is the first time you played a gacha game, let me explain the concept of what gacha is. Gacha is a term that was coined from the word gachapon, which refers to these small vending machines that would dispense small capsule codes. I'm sure this brings up some childhood memories, as most people will be familiar on what these things do. The machine itself would advertise some sort of prize, where you would need to insert coins to twist the knob. Upon doing so, a capsule is dispensed and you get to see if you won the grand prize or not. Using this concept, game companies would insert the gacha mechanic into their games, but instead of toys, the prizes would be characters or gear. If that doesn't sound familiar, gacha is very similar to loot boxes in a sense that it's basically gambling for something that you are not guaranteed to get. The main difference between these two mechanics is that gacha would have a list of items that you can get, and the odds of obtaining said items are stated, while loot boxes tend to not have this information, and even if it does, it tends to be very limited. So, terminologies. Here are some terms that Genshin players use to refer to certain things. A single refers to a single pull on a banner. A multi refers to doing a 10 pull on a banner, and a wish is a synonymous to the word pull. Dupes is the simplified term for duplicate items or characters for the context of this video. Now, let's take a look at Genshin's wish system. First off, let me break down all the currencies in the game, and I know that the number of currencies we have in the game might be obfuscating, but bear with me. So for currencies, we have Primo Gem, Intertwined Fate, Acquaint Fate, Masterless Starglitter, and Masterless Stardust. Primo Gem is the premium currency in the game, of which you can convert 160 of it into one Intertwined Fate or one Acquaint Fate. The other use for Primo Gems is to perform resin refresh, where you gain 60 resin by exchanging a certain number of gems. The more times you refresh, the more gems it costs to do so. Intertwined Fate is the currency which can be used to perform pulls or wishes on the limited banner. The limited banner refers to the banners which are time limited, where the banner only stays up for a limited duration. Acquaint Fate is the currency for the Wanderlust Invocation banner, better known as the standard banner, of which the banner lasts indefinitely. These three currencies can be obtained through various means in-game. Next up, we have the shop currencies. Masterless Starglitter can be obtained after getting duplicate copies of characters or weapons that you already have. Duplicate weapons will always give 2 Starglitter, while duplicate characters may give a differing amount. If it's a duplicate 4-star character, the first 6 dupes will give you 2 Starglitter. If the character is already Constellation 6, it will give you 5. If it's a duplicate 5-star character, the first 6 dupes will give 10 Starglitter each, and if the character is already Constellation 6, it gives 25 Starglitter instead. Starglitter can be used to purchase things from the Starglitter shops, including fates. Meanwhile, the Masterless Stardust can be obtained from getting 3-star items from any banner. Every copy of a 3-star item will give you 15 Stardust each. Similar to Starglitter, Stardust can be used to buy items from the Stardust section of the shop. And now, odds. Let's look at the odds stated in the game. For the limited character banner, every pull has a 0.6% chance of being a 5-star character with a consolidated rate of 1.6%. I'll explain why this is the case later. The chances of getting a 4-star item is 5.1%, which is shared between a weapon or a character. Meanwhile, the chances of getting a 3-star weapon is very high at 94.3%. While the chances of getting items of the higher rarity may seem low, but these banners have what we call a pity system. The pity system only applies to 4-star and 5-star items. For a 4-star, you are guaranteed to obtain a copy at the 10th wish if your previous 9 wishes were not a 4-star item. For a 5-star, you are absolutely guaranteed a 5-star item at the 90th pull if the previous 89 pulls were not a 5-star. Getting the item at the guaranteed number is known as hard pity. This hard pity applies to only the character event wish and the Wanderlust Invocation. As for the weapon event wish, the same rule applies, but it is 10 pulls less. The pity counter resets upon obtaining the item of set rarity, and it is impossible to obtain both a 4-star and a 5-star item in the same individual pull. So next we have banners. Upon reaching AR 5 and completing the Archon Quest Prologue, travelers gain access to the wish system, which can be accessed through this icon up here or by pressing F3 for PC players. At this point, travelers could see these banners: the Beginner's Wish, the Character Event Wish 1 and 2 if there were 2 running at the same time, the Weapon Event Wish, and the Wanderlust Invocation. So let's break down what these banners are. Starting off with the Beginner's Wish. The Beginner's Wish is the banner that all players gain access to upon unlocking the wish system. The banner works similar to how other banners work, except a copy of Noel is guaranteed on your first 10 wish set. I'll explain how these banners work in specifically on a later segment. The banner gives you a discount of 8 Acquaint Fates instead of 10 to do a 10 pull, and the banner disappears permanently once you have performed 20 pulls. It also stays up permanently until you do those 20 pulls. Next up, we have the Character Event Wish. The Character Event Wish is the banner that is exclusive for a period amount of time, aka a limited banner. These banners feature a rated up 5-star character and 3 rated up 4-star characters. This banner is only available for a period of 20 to 21 days, assuming that each version follows a 6-week cycle before it gets replaced with another banner that has a different lineup. The first 5-star character you obtain on this banner has a 50% chance to be the rated up 5-star advertised on the banner itself, while the other 50% would be any of the 5-star characters that is obtainable from the standard banner. And these characters are Diluc, Keqing, Tanari, Jean, Mona, and Chi-Chi. If you did not obtain the rated up 5-star character, the next 5-star you get is guaranteed to be the limited character. When people refer to winning or losing 50-50, this is what they meant. On the other hand, if you were to lose 50-50 and not get the guaranteed limited character, this guarantee carries over to the next limited banner. This is what people mean when they say that they're saving their guaranteed for another character. As for how the banner works, the odds remain the same as explained before, except for when you reach a certain number of wishes. For the Character Event Wish and the Wanderlust Invocation, there is a thing known as Soft Pity. Soft Pity begins when you reach your 74th pull, where every consecutive pull after that will increase the chances of getting a 5-star. Despite the Hard Pity being at the 90th wish, as stated in the rules, it is very likely that you will get the 5-star before then. From my personal experience, most of my 5-star tends to be between the 77th to the 81st pull. For the lineup, you can get exclusive 3-star weapons, 4-star characters and weapons, and 5-star characters. You cannot obtain 5-star weapons from this banner. And next up, we have the Weapon Event Wish. The Weapon Event Wish offers exclusive 5-star and 4-star weapons with boosted chances of obtaining them. It is also a limited banner that's only available for a certain period of time. The lineup includes 2 exclusive 5-star weapons and sometimes only one of them, along with 5 rated up 4-star weapons of each class. The pity for the weapon banner is 10 pulls less than the character banner, with the soft pity starting at 64 and the hard pity being at 80. So unique to the weapon banner is a system called the Epitomized Path. This system allows you to chart a course towards one of the 2 5-star weapons advertised. Why, you may ask? Well, that's because the weapon banner works a little bit different than character banners. Every 5-star you get here has a 75% chance to be one of the 2 5-star weapons that is advertised. For every 5-star weapon that you get that isn't the one you charted the course for, you gain this thing called a fate point. And once you have 2 fate points, essentially you did not get the 5-star weapon that you charted your course for or that you wanted. Once you stack up those 2 fate points, it guarantees your next 5-star weapon to be the one you charted your course for. Aside from the limited 5-star weapons advertised on the banner, you also have a chance of obtaining the same 5-star weapons from the standard banner. And these are Skyward Pride, Wolf's Gravestone, Skyward Harp, Amos Bow, Lost Prayers to the Sacred Winds, Skyward Atlas, Primordial Jade Wing Spear, Skyward Spine, Skyward Blade, and the Aquila Favonia. Sometimes one of these weapons would be the chosen weapon to be rated up alongside with another limited weapon. You can also obtain 4-star characters from this banner. And lastly, we have the Wanderlust Invocation. Unlike the other two, the Wanderlust Invocation is a banner that lasts indefinitely and it sticks around forever basically. It's also known by the community as the standard banner. The odds work similar to the character event wish, except the 5-star characters and weapons share the same odds. Despite the characters and weapons advertised on the banner, none of them have higher odds of getting them over the other. It is purely there for advertisement. The only notable difference between this banner other than the others is that you can only obtain these 4-star characters here, and these characters are Lisa, Kaeya, and Amber. This banner consumes Acquaint Fates to do wishes, while the other two limited banners uses Intertwined Fates. So now, for the tips and strategies that you can take when approaching the wish system, so let's start off with currencies. Since Primo Gems are obtainable through various in-game methods, it is recommended for free-to-play players to save up as much as possible until you find a character that you personally want to pull, regardless of whether the character is meta or the character is someone you simp for or a character that you just really like. Unless you are a whale or a big spender, I wouldn't recommend doing resin refresh at all. Between Intertwine and Acquaint Fates, it is much better to convert your Primo Gems into Intertwined Fates, as the items in the standard banner are not exclusive in any shape or form. For Masterless Star Glitter, I personally recommend saving them up, since the shop resets every month and the lineup for the 4-star characters sold here changes every month. The Star Glitter shop would usually offer 2 4-star characters, where one of them can be obtained from any banner, while the other would be between Lisa, Amber, or Kaeya. I generally wouldn't recommend buying any of the 4-star characters aside from the characters mentioned just now, since it is quite difficult to obtain the consolation for these 3 characters. Post-edit me here just to do a correction. You can actually try to go for maybe like consolations for characters like Bennett, Xingqiu, or Shengling, or maybe you could also like use your Star Glitter to get these 3 characters or super good characters that you don't already have a copy of. So take me for example. I am an AR60 player after playing this game for over 2 years, and I barely have Consolation 2 Kaeya, Consolation 1 Amber, and Consolation 1 Lisa. The shop also rotates the 4-star weapons sold here between the Blackcliff series and the Royal series. So the Blackcliff series offers a decent base attack with a crit damage substat, where their passive gives you an attack buff depending on how many enemies you defeated. Aside from the crit damage, I generally would not recommend getting these weapons unless you have no better options. The Royal series generally has high base stats with attack percent substat, where their passive increases the crit rate of your attacks if you have not crit at all. Also not recommended, since attack percent is a very easy stat to get in the game and you're much better off relying on your artifacts for crit rate. As for the fates which can be bought for 5-star glitter, I would not recommend getting them unless you really don't care about the other things that the shop offers. If that is the case, then you can go for the Intertwined Fates. Please go for Intertwined Fates over Acquaint Fates, since there isn't much reason for you to pull this standard banner in the first place, since a lot of the rewards in the standard banner is obtainable through the limited banner, assuming you were to be a little bit unlucky. For the Masterless Stardust, I recommend that you save them, since you can purchase 5 Intertwine and 5 Acquaint Fates for 750 Stardust every month when the shop resets. It might be tempting to spend some Stardust on the resources sold in the shop, but it is generally not worth it unless you have like a lot of Stardust, like I mean a whole lot of them. For the banners, I recommend pulling for the character event wish over the weapon banner. There are multiple reasons why. The first being how much easier it is to obtain a limited character over a limited weapon. Assuming that people obtain their 5-star at an average of 80 wishes, you can obtain the limited 5-star character with 160 wishes if you were to lose your first 5-star to one of these standard banners, thus losing 50-50. On the other hand, given how the weapon banner works, if we assume an average of 70 wishes is needed to obtain a 5-star weapon, it takes about 210 wishes average to get the weapon you want, assuming the worst case scenario, and this is with the help of the epitomized path. For the second reason, all characters are unique as their abilities, appearance, and personality differ from each other. Meanwhile, weapons are only tied to one class and it is a single weapon, so not all weapons can be used effectively on every character belonging to that weapon class. For the final reason, a character can be slotted into different teams with differing playstyle and roles, while a weapon can only be used by a single character. There's a reason why even the whales and the big spenders call the weapon banner a scam. Lastly, we have the Beginner's Wish. I generally would not recommend spending your Acquaint Fates on a banner when you do happen to unlock the wish system itself, because even though you are guaranteed a copy of Noelle, Noelle is a jack of all trades character that will only help you up to a certain point as you play the game even more. And as you get more characters for your account, Noelle's value drops even further as there are more characters that you will obtain eventually that will outperform her. It is much better to spend those acquaints on standard banner, since you can stack up wishes to eventually get a 5-star with the help of the pity system. Plus, it is very unlikely that you are to get lucky with the banner and obtain a 5-star within 20 pulls. Thus, it is much safer to invest in the standard banner instead with those free acquaint fates. Anyways, that was a lot of information to digest, but you can always go back in the video to rewatch whatever parts that you did not understand. So I hope this video gave you enough information for you to manage on your own with the game's wish system. As usual, leave a like if you enjoyed the video. It also helps boost discovery in the algorithm. Subscribe for more content, and if you have any further questions, just leave it down in the comments below and I'll do my best to try to answer any questions if you have them. That's it for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya!